runner-up spot. The extra 20 would have done him some good the last couple of nights. We'll see if it helps him out tonight. Race fans, it is time to bring your Lucas Oil MLRA late models down the front chute here at the Lucas Oil Speedway as we get things ready for tonight's finale of the MLRA Fall Nationals.
And that's just for pre-race. That's what we do for the Fall Nationals here at Lucas Oil Speedway. You should be here for 4th of July. If you think that's big, you ought to see it then.
All right, lights are out. 1 row penalty for the 2 machine of Stormy Scott. Because now Hodges, he will get it started. Now that will be a good start right there as Simpson fires up alongside on the top side of the racetrack. As we make ourselves through turn 1 and 2 here this first time by, you see a nice 3-wide battle back there. Chris Simpson threading the needle, but lap number 1 for the second night in a row is going to belong to the 25 of Chad Simpson.
Came into the weekend up 100. After night 1, up 55. Now back to a 90-point lead. And Chad Simpson rim riding around the top. Ryan Gustin, not the best of starts. He's already back to 5th, and Tony Jackson Jr. looking to his side. And what do you know? You got Ryan Gustin and Chris Simpson there, nose to tail.
Gustin and Simpson right back in position 5 and 6. As Chad Simpson going to stretch it out a little bit. Watching Gustin on the top side. Simpson stretching out. Hodges hanging right there. Now you got a guy that's looking for a little bit of redemption right now in Stormy Scott. You know, he got his hand slapped a little bit on that on the initial start. Right now, Ryan's in position number 3, and he would love to find a way around that 22 of Hodges as we are getting ready to put 4 laps on the board this time by.
These late models can click laps away in a hurry. 50 laps is a long time, and you're going to have to watch how this track changes as well. It's gotten rubbered in somewhat well. Still has quite a bit of moisture in it, but these drivers that have been used to running the 30 laps on the 2 previous nights really have to kind of hold back a little bit. Make sure you don't burn the rubber up too fast because you've got that extra 20 to go.
As we watch Chad Simpson showing the way, I'm watching that Hot Rod Septic 32 right there at the bottom of your screen, Chris Simpson. We have watched this the last 2 nights. Slow and easy, nice and steady along the bottom side of this racetrack, and he's doing it again tonight as he currently finds himself in the 4th spot. He started back there in position number 5, it looks like, and sitting there quietly on the bottom side, and he is going to be patient and see if he can take advantage of these extra 20 laps here tonight.
And the gap between 1st and 4th right now between Chad and Chris is a pretty far cry, but you have to just imagine probably not going to go 50 straight laps without some type of caution. The bunch that filled up as Stormy Scott gets a little loose, pushes up the track. That's going to open the door, and Chris Simpson's going to grab another spot. He's up to 3rd.
He's up to 3rd, watching Tony Jackson Jr. trying to hustle that top side because your race leader, Chad Simpson, who started out on the top side, has went to the bottom side of the racetrack. Lets it float up a little bit off the exit of turn number 4. As these drivers got to keep in mind, got to keep these Hoosier tires under him for an extra 20 laps here tonight as Stormy Scott backpedals a little bit back to the 5th position. You see Jackson making his way around, but right now the eyes are on Chris Simpson. If he can find a way around the 22 of Hodges and set us up with a family reunion at the front of this one.
So Chad Simpson's going to catch up with lap traffic. Chris Simpson now to the inside of a 3-car battle, going to get away from Dustin Hodges. We'll see what lap times start to look like now between Chad Simpson and Chris Simpson. Now that Chad has caught the tail end of that lap traffic, John Benning is going to be the first one to go a lap down. Tony Jackson Jr. rim rides around 1 and 2. Dustin Hodges staying low on the track, and Stormy Scott, after losing a couple of spots in the early going, he is now settled into a groove on the bottom.
You know, right now, as long as Chad Simpson can continue to make that 25 machine work on the top side of the racetrack, we haven't seen Chris get off the bottom here yet this weekend. He really likes that bottom side of the racetrack, and now he's being forced up off the bottom as he works to the outside of Jimmy Van Zant. Some lap traffic through turns number 3 and 4 as he tries to chase down Chad Simpson. We have got a battle for the race lead off the exit of turn number 2.
0.7 seconds is what it was. It's now down to 0.6, and Chad Simpson, he is just threading the needle, putting the nose where it needs to go. He's caught up with Oberkramer, has John Benning to the inside, going to split the wicket there, and Chris Simpson, he's trying to find that brown grip underneath John Benning, find it all the way down on the bottom of the track to get around him. That lead is now down to 1/10 of a second last time by.
So Chad Simpson that lap doing a great job of getting his way through lap traffic. Is now Chris Simpson having a fight with John Benning. Really going to start to hamper him a little bit as he starts to backpedal a little bit. You know, he had it down to a couple of car lengths as he now finds himself behind Mason Oberkramer. Chad Simpson has a 1-car buffer between himself and the 32 brother Chris Simpson as we work here on lap number 16. But lap traffic, Shane, going to come into play from here on out as long as we keep it green on the speedway.
Best lap so far has been turned in by Chad Simpson, a 15.5. That's about a second more than what qualifying was. And again, we were running heat laps in qualifying times. That's how fast this track has been, as still more continued lap traffic and Chad Simpson finding his way through, but Chris Simpson's caught up with him.
Right now, Chad Simpson's best friend has been lap traffic. It's allowed him to continue to put a car between himself, and literally 1 car between himself and Chris Simpson. As right now, it's Tyler Kuykendall in the 15 machine, but there goes the move by Chris Simpson. He will drive down to the inside at turn number 3. A couple of Iowa drivers racing for a championship and a win here tonight. This time at the line, new race leader on lap number 18. It is going to be Chris Simpson.
Boy, again, you say Chris Simpson's more of a long-run driver and a long-run car. We saw that on Thursday. I wouldn't say 19 laps is a long run. He got to the front in a hurry, and he really got through lap traffic. We saw Chad getting through it really well. Chris got through it better. He just was able to knife through it, get around Chad, and now he's turning the fastest times.
Now you got to look back at Stormy Scott, guy that was backpedaling. Now he's got that Category 5 number 2 back on the podium in 3rd position right behind Chad Simpson as he comes into the screen right there. So Stormy Scott still a very big part of this. Who's going to save their equipment the best? That's what we're trying to find out as we quickly approach the halfway point in this one.
Clicking him down in a hurry, Chad Simpson working around Stuckey. And Chad Simpson continuing to have a really, really good run as he leads, or Chris Simpson leads Chad Simpson by 0.8 seconds here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Chad Simpson still trying to reel in Chris Simpson, your current race leader. He's built that lead up to 1.1 seconds. Around Stuckey he goes. Stormy Scott in 3rd. Tony Jackson Jr. 4th. Logan Martin riding in 5th. And now Stormy Scott looking to take over 2nd to the inside of Chad.
Scott right there. He started on the outside front row, had an early race penalty, but now goes to the inside of Chad Simpson. You got to remember, these are valuable championship points. Right now, Chris Simpson looking to gain 20 championship points if he can hold on and win this one here tonight. So every position that Chad Simpson potentially drops back is going to be some valuable championship points as we head into next week's finale. As Stormy Scott looks to go down to the inside. Jeff Herzog right there in the crosshairs of this battle as we are halfway home here in the Fall Nationals finale.
Chris's lead getting bigger. He is adding about 0.2 of a second every single lap. It is now up to 1.8 over Chad. And now Stormy Scott around Chad. Stormy Scott up to 2nd.
Jeff Herzog, a little bit of light contact there with your championship point leader, Chad Simpson. As we continue to watch Stormy Scott, 1.885 seconds last time at the line. We will continue to watch that gap and see if he can start to reel in your race leader as he makes his way around Joseph Corby in the 9 machine and makes his way back down the front straightaway. Jimmy Van Zandt off the racetrack. I believe the first car out of the race here tonight, driver car number 67.
Haven't been many cars even go a lap down as of yet. So he's off the track now. The only other car, there's one other car that went out already. Did not catch who that was, but Jimmy Van Zandt will now be officially scored 23rd.
You know, we talked about Ryan Gustin. Right now he rides in the 9th position. The winner back-to-back on Thursday and Friday night has not really been a factor in this one tonight, to our surprise. As we continue to watch Chris Simpson. Hasn't made any changes really right here. He is doing the same thing, Shane, that he has done all weekend long, and that's pivot the bottom side of the racetrack. He's got Steve Stoltz up in front of him. As we finally got a caution on the racetrack, and that is the 19 of Ryan Gustin.
We've ran 30 circuits. And now Chris Simpson, this is a position that he's been in before. He's led races, but this weekend he has not had the opportunity to have the clear windshield out in front of him.
He has got it now, and he's got 20 laps to go to hang on to this one as we go back underneath the green flag after the first caution of the night. He will work the bottom side. As you can now watch Chad Simpson and the Deuce Nickel up on the top side. Hands full again with Stormy Scott. These two were racing lap after lap before that caution. You've also got Tony Jackson, and you talked about it a little bit earlier on tonight. Logan Martin coming into the screen, the driver, car number 36.
Logan Martin runs a lot of the Cash Money Series, runs some of the Cam Series, runs in the MLRA from time to time. He's got himself a top 5. Dustin Hodges, who had that fastest time to get the night started, he's dropped all the way down to 6th. Drew drops another couple of spots down to 8th. So the long run has not been good for him. But as we go back after the green back in the air and only 3 laps, Chris Simpson gets out by almost a second ahead of Stormy Scott.
Also watching the 8 car of Dylan McCowan. He's had an up and down weekend. A couple of different cars he was in. Backup car on Thursday night, a backup car on Friday night. Dylan McCowan has just raced himself into the top 5, and that was a youngster that came oh so close to picking up a win here over the Labor Day weekend in the opening night of that big showdown. And now you watch Chad Simpson now with his hands full with another championship contender. These drivers separated by 90 points coming into tonight. They're going to race it clean, but championship points on the line between Tony Jackson Jr. and Chad Simpson.
Chris really isn't able to get away from Stormy Scott right now, keeping it right at an 8 or 9/10 of a second advantage. As a look back at 3rd and 4th with Chad and Tony Jackson. Dylan McCowan now starting to pressure from the inside. He's in 5th, looking for 4th around the 56 of Tony Jackson Jr.
Big move right there if Dylan McCowan can make his way around as he clips that infield tractor tire right there with that left front of that race car. Oh, so close right there as he moves it down a little bit. Gets these guys where they can get that left front tire up on that concrete surface. A very unique part of this Lucas Oil Speedway is that concrete drainage system around the bottom side of the racetrack as they push those tires in and get a little bit more of that grip from that concrete down the inside of the racetrack. We got 37, let's put 38 up on the board this time by with Chris Simpson.
And I was actually wondering about that with Chris Simpson. We saw Dylan McCowan clip the big white tire. Look at how far down Chris Simpson gets as well. He is trying to get as low on the track and find some speed. He's got to be a little cautious of that too. We have seen the big white tire tractors come up and bite a number of drivers throughout the years.
Same thing we've seen all weekend though. He is able to keep that Longhorn chassis on the very bottom of that racetrack. So many guys, you see Stormy Scott right there, just not able to keep it on the bottom side of the racetrack off the exit of turn number 4, where Chris Simpson can keep that car clear on the bottom. He's got a lot of front brake in that car as he once again starts to work his way now through lap traffic.
Single digits left on the board. The move over flag from Bryson Leftwich up on the flag stand, trying to get everybody out of the way of the lead cars of Chris Simpson and Stormy Scott coming through. And again, Stormy not really losing a lot of ground as you see the nose digging in on Chad Simpson's 25.
Chad Simpson losing 3 spots right there in the last 2 laps. He has now went back to the 5th position, so some big championship implications here with just 8 laps to go as we watch Tony Jackson Jr., who's up to the 3rd spot. Right now, Chris Simpson, as he enters turn number 3, got about a 4-car length advantage over Stormy Scott as we continue to watch this battle right here for 4th and 5th on the racetrack between McCowan and Martin.
Yeah, give Logan Martin a ton of credit for hanging with these guys. Doesn't run with them a lot, but he has given Dylan McCowan everything he wanted until right then. Logan has some issues out of the back. You saw just a puff of smoke, but then it clears out pretty quick. So we thought that was going to be bad, but I think he's all right for now. He hasn't lost any speed.
I was looking for a caution with about 6 laps to go right there. Not what you want to see if you are Chris Simpson or Logan Martin for that fact. So he's back on the top side cushion as we're going to come across the stripe for 5 to go. This time by Chris Simpson at the stripe, showing the way, trying to pick up a $10,000 win here tonight, his 2nd win at the Lucas Oil Speedway.
Closing laps. 5 to go from the Fall Nationals for the MLRA and Chris Simpson. It's his to win, but you know what? It's also his to lose. He's got lap traffic in front of him, and Stormy Scott bearing down on him. He cuts it down to 2 car lengths.
Couple of lap cars still into play in this one as we've got 4 laps to go. Down to the inside, Chris Simpson going to have to make his way around Clayton Stuckey right there. Good run off the exit of turn number 2 by Stormy Scott. Scott's going to drive it deep into turn number 3. He is within striking distance. Shane off the exit of 4.
Getting so much closer, but he is running out of laps. 2 sticks in the air. They'll see the white flag this time around, and you simply hope that with the lap cars in front of him, don't play into it. Stormy Scott lays back. He's going to have one last run.
The Barons Performance 1 to go is out here in Wheatland. Final time around, a big night if he can hang on, as he's got to get on the throttle on and off right there, right behind the 31 of Cole Hinson. Down into turn number 3, final left-hand turn. He has got it from here off the exit of turn number 4. It's going to be Chris Simpson taking the win here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. He will grab his second win of the year at Wheatland. Coming home in that first spot over Stormy Scott, Tony Jackson Jr. comes across in the podium in third. Dylan McCowan and Chad Simpson will make it across the line and round out your top 5 with Caden Klatt with a great run. Comes home in the 6th position. Logan Martin in 7th. As that will bring it to a close here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. But it is all Chris Simpson. So close the last 2 nights, and he gets it done here at the Fall Nationals finale.
My Race Pass race results: Simpson, Scott, Jackson Jr., Dylan McCowan in 4th, and Chad Simpson, your current point leader, going to take just a touch of a hit in that as he drops back to 5th. Caden Klatt in 6th, Logan Martin with a great run, Daniel Hilsebeck, Trevor Gundaker, and Tyler Stevens, your top 10. Flip the page to the top 20, Dustin Hodges, who started on the pole with the fast time, the last